On the phone, we've got Admiral Joe Sestak. Admiral, welcome back to Union Edge.
Charles, good afternoon. It's great to be with you.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. A number of things going on in the state, Admiral. Just very quickly, I want to ask you something. This is a little bit off topic. We've got some of our friends in the House and the Senate talking about defunding Social Security disability. You're a veteran. I'm a veteran. I'm very concerned about that. We've got vets that have come back that need that because they can't work because of their wartime injuries. What are some of these politicians thinking?
Well, look, if you're asking me if this is the right thing to do, it's not the right thing to do. There are individuals who have to wait quite an inordinate amount of time even to get on what the law provides for disabilities in Social Security. And if you go around this country, and you and I here in Pennsylvania, you meet hundreds of them, thousands of them. And many of them are still trying to make a go of it. My thing is that this was a bargain we had with the working class of America. And we have to meet that bargain. And we can certainly do it by closing a lot of those tax loopholes where if a business decides to build a factory in Germany, they can write it off. And therefore, there's less revenues for our Social Security. So I think there's a better way to go about meeting our financial needs than what's being proposed.
Yeah, I think there are better ways of doing this. And quite frankly, I have to tell you that I'm not real happy about this, and I'm not real happy about some of the other things that our Republican friends are doing now that they've got both the upper and lower chambers. I'm hoping, that they get it and they understand that, we got to, to get through this and do the right thing, we got to cooperate and we got to have robust discussions at times. But when it's all said and done, you got to be representing the taxpayers and the voters out here. And I'm not sure that with this legislation and this initiative that's what they're doing.
Well, Charles, I think you're highlighting the issue that's really affecting the whole discussion here in America today. We're fighting for our very soul. Too many of the Republicans, including our president, Senator Toomey, say, you're on your own. And so what they're saying here by closing down Social Security is by saying, hey, you're on your own. That's not what we do in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We come together. It's what I learned in the military. We're pretty rugged individuals out there, Charles. SEAL Team 6, each one of them is pretty rugged individuals, but they have one another's back. This is the fight we're in. Are we in this together, or are you on your own?
Well, I tell you what, that's not how you make a military. It's not how you make a community, and that's not how you make your country. Each and every man or woman for themselves. It's not teamwork. It's not how you get things done. And those people that think that's appropriate, well, maybe you ought to go someplace else because you're not welcome here. That's not how we do things here in the United States.
You're right. Go ahead.
No,
please.
Sir, I was just going to segue over to healthcare here in the United States. I get it. The Affordable Care Act is not the end-all, be-all of what we can do here in the United States, but it's working. It's getting more people covered. Yes, the price of healthcare is still rising, but it's rising at the slowest rate in decades. And, more jobs are being created to cover those people that need the healthcare coverage. We need to fix it. We need to tweak it. Yes. Do we need to get rid of it? No. Do we need to have continued votes on, well, let's see if we can get rid of it on the 65th time we voted out. Really? I don't get it, sir.
Well, Charles, it's the same issue that we just spoke about with Social Security. What we have is that healthcare has slowed down from growing up at 8% every year. We've cut that in half since the Affordable Care Act was passed. And if you repeal the Affordable Care Act, like Senator Toomey has voted for, then Medicare runs out of money a year after next. 2 years we're out of money because we fixed it and made sure there was enough money for our seniors until 2030. But think about this. Let's just take then Congressman Toomey when he was in Congress in the House of Representatives. Each year he was there, on average, the population of Harrisburg, the capital of Pennsylvania, lost their health care, and he did nothing because you were on your own. That's the fight we have. Look, you know we give military to everybody. In the military, we give health care to everybody, not because we're liberal. We do it because there's a great dividend to America of healthy, productive warriors. We're losing $100 billion every year because of the under and uninsured. They were sick more and longer. Now with the Affordable Care Act, we're not losing that much. That's what we've done for the United States of America.
I think it's a good thing. I think we need to expand on that, and I think we need to continue to support our communities. That's for sure. I think to myself, Representative Paul Ryan, unfortunately, when he was a young man, lost his father. He collected Social Security, until the time of 18. I think he collected it during college. And that helps. And it makes it easier for his mother to send him to college. It makes it easier for him to go to college. And that's the right thing that we do for one another in this country. We look after our own. But now, turn around, and it seems like he's pulling the ladder up from behind himself.
Yes. You see, the American dream is we kind of build the ladder rungs together. I mean, we build roads so businessmen and women can use the roads to get their products to market. But when you're successful as a businessman or woman, all we do is ask you to help build another rung so our children can climb even higher. Don't pull the ladder up behind you. Look, let me give you another example. Take health care. The very first act of Congress here when it was in Philadelphia, before it moved down to Washington, D.C., was to ensure that all merchantmen in our new American merchant fleet had health care, both hospital health care as well as insurance. And it was mandated they had to have it. Sound familiar? A mandate to have health care? Mm-hmm. Our forefathers who gave us the Constitution understood that the United States of America's economy could only be great if the new maritime nation of America depended upon the merchant fleet to get our raw materials to England and other places in order for them to be turned into products that we could then use, had to have healthy merchantmen. So we mandated that they had to have health care. The Congress did. That's coming together. And yet, each of those merchantmen could decide to be the best merchantman as an individual as he could. We're not on our own. We're in this together. And that's what the Congress has to understand.
Absolutely. Sir, we're going to take a short break. We come back. I'd like to talk to you about the president's proposal for community colleges for everybody for free. Can we do that?
Sure thing. Sure can.
Joining us on the phone, we've got Admiral Joe Sestak. Admiral, welcome back.
Good to be back. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Admiral. Sir, one of the things that's very interesting for me is the president recently came out and said, hey, you know what? We need to educate our young folks, maybe not so young folks. Community college education, 2 years, free tuition. The states will pick up part of it. The Fed will pick up part of it and make this work. I am sure that there is plenty of room for industry in that. It reminds me of the programs that the building trades put together. For instance, the utility workers, the utility companies, the local community college up in Chicago. They're putting 75, 100 people through the program, teaching them what they need to do to go to work for the utility companies. It's a great thing. They get their degree. They get the training. The utility company gets people trained the way they want to. The unions are coming in and doing the training because they're the subject matter experts. This is a great thing for the retirees to come in and provide the students with 30 years or more of experience, of know-how, and just general get it done. Already, we're seeing pushback against the president, and I'll be honest with you, Admiral, I've already heard the word entitlement. Really? I don't get this. What are your thoughts?
Well, I am a large proponent of community colleges. I was also, when I was in the House of Representatives, on the community college caucus. It is a great stepping stone, like you described, to the American dream. Delaware County Community College is fantastic right here where I live. They train, for example, welders that work in the shipyard where my father worked, the old Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, but today is making large vessels. But to be today's welder, you no longer light the arc, lay the bead. What you have to do is sit at a computer. You got to design that bead to be welded by a machine. It's quite intricate, hard work. So community colleges can train you for a wonderful job at extraordinarily low cost compared to other places. And you don't always have to complete the community college. You can get a certificate that then permits you to go off and do great things. Here's the real challenge. We Pennsylvanians got to get with it, even better than we've done. Across America, 66% of all students in college are in a community college, but here in Pennsylvania, it's only about 28%. And you know, all colleges here in Pennsylvania, about 5% of them are community colleges, but across America, it's actually about almost 30%. So I'm a large proponent because it's just like you described. It gets you a step up at extraordinarily low cost into your American dream, and we in Pennsylvania are lagging behind the rest of the nation. Just 2-3 years ago, they decided not to build one up in Erie County. We can do much better.
Admiral, I understand the people. I understand the responsibility of a civil servant, of a military member, to look after the taxpayers' funds. I get it. I understand it. And that's appropriate. But for someone in Congress to say we can't afford to do this, I think that's wrong thinking, and I think maybe it's a knee-jerk reaction. I think perhaps it's dogma, it's political, it's grandstanding, it's kabuki. When we have the opportunity, and it's been clearly demonstrated time and time again, if we put together these coalitions, we can do wonderful things. The company and the private sectors benefit. The individuals benefit. The community benefits from that individual's wages and taxation. The unions benefit because they've got well-trained members. I mean, I don't understand it, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very disappointed in the reactions of some to the president's comments.
2 points. One, again, just to use where I was my entire life, serving this nation in the military. When I joined up, you know, I had 5 wonderful chief petty officers, senior enlisted. Only one had graduated from high school. But because we came to understand the technology that was going to soon dominate warfare, much like it dominates the economy, when I was there during our aircraft carrier battle strikes into Afghanistan and Iraq, you couldn't be promoted to senior chief petty officer unless you had gone and earned at least an associate's degree from a community college or elsewhere. Our money, because we valued the investment in human capital, not just business capital, human capital that much. Our men and women are what makes our military be all it can be. It's the same way in the economy. That's why here in Pennsylvania, let's make sure we understand that, yes, we have to, and the president has to be more specific and get down, and let's make sure we understand how we're going to fund this. But remember what happened here in Pennsylvania when the very first public school was founded, back about 1682, when the governor back then actually instituted a school down in Philadelphia and said, everyone will attend. The rich will pay a reasonable fee. The poor shall attend for free. So everyone can contribute to the common weal, the commonwealth of America. That's why we have to invest and pay for the appropriate means, investment in the greatest asset we have, the people of America, the people of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Admiral. We appreciate it. Listen, sir, we're coming to the end of it. However, you're running for office, and I would be remiss if people didn't give people the opportunity to find your website. Where is that, sir?
You just type in joesestak.com. Again, joesestak.com, and Sestak spelled Sestak. And you will see that website called Leadership for a Better America dominates the issues of what we spoke about. Rugged individualism, but always aligned with the common enterprise, coming together. Leadership, but leadership that's accountable for ensuring that those two tenets of America's character and Pennsylvania's character, rugged individualism, the all you can be, is always aligned with we're all in this together, joining together to get forward. It's what I learned in the military. It's what I see that this nation founded itself upon and did its greatest contributions to its people by being together.
Absolutely. Admiral, thank you very much. I look forward to getting back again soon.